And so recently we had an individual that had been through the Rapid Rehousing Program, and we had a chance to actually sit down and hear from Zayasia. So let's take a minute and hear what Zayasia had to say about the program.
Hi, Zayasia. So, we asked you to come in today because obviously you've had a lot of success in the Rapid Rehousing Program, and you were willing to kind of talk about that. So we'd like to start off by just, for the record, you saying your name and your age and how you found out about community missions.
My name is Zayasia Robinson. I am 23, and I found out about the program through Lockport Cares.
Nice. Okay. So you were in the program for a little while and you accomplished some things, and we just want to know how Rapid Rehousing kind of helped you in your life.
Well, they really helped me with finding a place and getting out of the situation that I was in, and with them paying my rent and paying portions of my rent over a year maybe, and I was able to get a lot of things done in that time. I became a CNA. I am back in school trying to get my GED. So they have actually helped me a lot.
Nice. So it's really good to hear that. Do you recommend the Rapid Rehousing Program to other young adults your age? And if so, why?
I've actually have recommended this program to other adults my age, and if I'm not mistaken, one of them is actually in the program. So I would definitely recommend this program to other people.
Very nice. So I know you talked a little bit about getting your CNA. What else have you accomplished since you've been in the Rapid Rehousing Program?
Yes, I'm in my GED classes right now currently. I also, after I get my GED, I have a program who is going to pay for my nursing classes.
Oh, so you're going to actually expand on what you've done with Rapid Rehousing.
Absolutely. I've definitely learned how to conversate better with people, and I've learned how to save money, and I've definitely learned that you can always ask for help.
That's wonderful, and you can always reach out still. So you're always welcome back, and we appreciate you, spending a little time and letting us know how the program worked for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So again, that was Zayasia speaking a little bit about the Rapid Rehousing Program in Fall Street Station. So thank you to her for being able to be willing to sit down and talk to us a bit. So that was wonderful. It's wonderful to see success stories. I mean,
Absolutely.
really so quickly, back into the program and such, which is great. So Rebecca, I'll ask you first, if you don't mind. What drew you to this kind of work? Why do you like working with the individuals that you're working with the program?
Primarily with the youth, because they're not necessarily set in their ways as adults would be. They're still open to change. They're still open to opportunities, slightly more optimistic about their future at this point in life. I really enjoy giving back to the community. I'm born and raised in Western New York. So I've been giving, I've had a good background, a good upbringing, and I'd like to let the community know that even though if they've not been blessed with such an upbringing, that it's not the only way. You can change your life. You can. There are opportunities. You have to work for it, but there are opportunities.
Wonderful. And Miranda?
Yeah, so previously I've worn a few different hats in the social work field, but I think what really drew me to the position when I applied for it was the fact that we had already been doing some of this type of work in our community, my fiance and I. And when I said, hey, I get to work with a younger generation kind of before they get to the people we see, I thought that would be great because I already was working with other youth in the community. One of them is now a case manager, and trying to help them kind of live a goal-oriented life. And it's always great to see those small successes. It's one of those, with this program, it's different than a lot of other social work programs. You get to see the success almost right away when they get a job, when they enroll in higher education, when they've completed some higher education. Things like that are just, invaluable to the society, and it's wonderful to see. And you're able to, like I said, just kind of keep track of success, where in other programs you might not know what happens when they leave. And what I'm noticing with Rapid Rehousing is they really like their case managers and their peers, and they tend to reach out even after they're not in the program anymore.
It's wonderful, yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, building that safety net is so important, especially for
Support
that age
system.
group, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing we
Yeah.
try to build on and stress within the program is get to know the people around you, build a support network. Most of the people within the programs come in not having much of a support network, so we'd like to stress that.
Yep, that's great. So again, for people just joining us, I am joined by Miranda here and Rebecca from the Fall Street Station program that Community Missions offers. If you would, just give us the Reader's Digest version again of what Fall Street Station is.
Yeah, it's a transitional shelter for young adults ages 18 to 24 who are experiencing homelessness. And that looks different for each person. So most of people in the Rapid Rehousing program are coming from referrals from partnering agencies, but specifically for the house, they're coming from Community Missions shelters.
And you mentioned a little bit previously, I wanted to talk a little bit more about what they're kind of working toward as far as maybe employment or maybe schooling. What have you seen so far along those lines?
Right, so we always encourage the residents to, have income because to go into rapid rehousing, they're going to need that after, they're out of the program. They need to be sustainable. So, and encouraging them to have maybe higher education or some kind of training, enroll in college, so that at some point they get that better paying job, that can help them be able to survive and help hopefully end chronic homelessness for the individuals.
And so are you partnering with any local organizations specifically around schooling stuff or just the local community colleges?
Yes, so we're working with NU. It's taking a little bit of time because it is a university. Not everybody's going to be ready for that, but we will have some people that are, and we have one right now that's ready for it. And then we're going to be working with NTRIP. So actually this month, all of the residents are going to 2 open houses and going to have the opportunity for the first time to step foot on a college campus and see what it would be like if they were, were enrolled.
Right.
And NTRIP has a really good program to introduce them softly to these new ideas. It's not to say that everybody doesn't have the idea of going to college, but I think for a lot of this population, it seems out of reach. Sure. So we want to make sure that they realize it's right within their reach and we'll be there to support them.
Mm-hmm. And what other ways do you try to get people into the community? Are you taking them into field trip kind of things or just encouraging them to get out or anything along those lines?
Yeah, so we encourage our residents, especially if they aren't working, to get enrolled in WorkSource 1, which is at Trot, or GED programs, and the peers can help them connect with those services. There's also the Connection. That's a place that they can go to hang out if they're bored. And just any other, Rebecca could probably think of
Any other
more.
resources just available in the community. It's not limited to any one channel. If someone's looking for education, if someone's looking for outdoor activities, free events, it's just depending on what's going on at that time of the year.
Yep.
And we'll try to connect that person to that activity.
And it is a nice location as well. You're not
It's
far
wonderful.
from Pine. It's a lot of opportunities there, and certainly down into the falls.
Right.
You walk down to the falls right
Yes,
from there. A little bit of a
absolutely.
walk, but
Close to local transportation as well, so our residents aren't limited in getting around the city independently.
so if there might be somebody out there that either they themselves might be dealing with homelessness or kind of teetering on that line, or maybe a family member of somebody, what would you want them to know about the program? That whether somebody might be a good fit for the program or maybe just not for them.
So I guess it would be that we'd want them to know that we are a supportive program or a supportive service. It's not mandatory, it's voluntary. So at any point they could definitely, say, I don't want to do this anymore, this isn't a good fit for me, I'm ready to leave. Someone that's a good fit for the program is going to be somebody that is able to be encouraged to kind of seek to achieve goals that they will set on their own with the help of a case manager. And the peers can also have a big role in that because, for instance, if we have a resident that doesn't realize maybe that they could go to college, they can get that better job. We have a whole team here that's going to support them and encourage them and let them know that those things just aren't out of reach by taking them on site, and like I explained, the open house at NTRIP they're going with us, and one of them is very nervous, but it becomes normal the more that we introduce them to these community resources. We want to normalize everything that they're doing, so it's second nature to them to reach out for help when they need or seek higher education, training programs. We want them to feel comfortable in doing these things independently at some point.
Sure. That's great. You specifically mentioned about goals that they set on their own, which is
Yes.
something that I want to make sure viewers at home kind of understand, because I believe that you've heard that certainly time and time again as we're working through all the different programs of community missions. That's kind of one of our main core values, is that people are setting goals on their own, not something that staff is prescribing to them and saying, you need to do this, you have to do that necessarily. But really talking to the individual, figuring out what their life goal, what their life journey will look like, and then helping them to achieve that.
Yes.
So wonderful, wonderful. Hiring, did want to mention, we're always looking for positions for many different programs throughout community missions, but you're looking for a couple in particular, I believe.
So anyone in the human service field, and that can include things like social work, psychology. We would encourage you to apply for the case manager position. And also anyone that has at least a GED, driver's license, because that's very important for the peer position, and lived experience. So someone that's experienced, either housing crises, homelessness, or discrimination towards housing, are encouraged to apply for the position.
Yep. And so any of our jobs are available, about 25 or so I think that we have listed currently at communitymissions.org/jobs. We try to make it as easy as we can for you. But there's information about all different kinds of jobs, work in Niagara Falls, in North Tonawanda, and even here in Lockport as well, and different positions of full-time, part-time, weekends. There's several different ways that you could come and work for community missions. We would love to have you to at least apply and come through. So I'll wrap up with a couple of things. Thank you so much, Miranda and Rebecca, for joining us here today. And so again, just a couple of dates to throw out there. April 29th is the Spring Fling that's going to be on site at 1570 Buffalo Avenue, a family fun activity. We hope that you'll come out. The next Saturday as well is a vehicle blessing, so another kind of fun activity. Bring your motorcycle, bring your Huffy, your Schwinn, your shoes, if that's how you get around, and just an invitation to be blessed by whatever vehicle that gets you around. And don't forget about the Letter Carriers Food Drive May 13th to leave out some food for the letter carriers and volunteers to be able to take back to local food pantries. And thank you so much for joining us here today, and we look forward to joining you next month with another opportunity to get educated about community missions and our programs and to help us as well. Thanks again.